Hello and welcome to the Un-American Football Show's weekly prediction episode. I'm your host Alan, and back with the guys, we're going to be going through the craziest probably weekend ever of football, and then also making our picks for the championship round. And so in the studio we've got Nate and we've got Ross. How are we doing, guys?
Tom Brady lost, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, right.
That is the main thing. But yeah, I think you're right, right on the nose. It is potentially the best weekend of NFL playoffs ever. Definitely some of the best playoff games I've ever seen.
Here's a question. Has football peaked too early?
Yes.
It's only going to be down from here, right?
There's no way that we can get any closer games that are going to be as drama-filled. Probably even as that Bills-Chiefs game. Even Buccaneers-Rams, I don't think we're going to see a game as good as that. And that wasn't even the best game of the week.
Yeah, I went to bed early during the Chiefs-Bills game because it started off a little bit slowly. And I was like, it's going to be boring. No point staying up. And then that fourth quarter was absolutely frenetic.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter threw 177 yards. And that's more than 5 of Carson Wentz's games this season.
I love that stat. That's fantastic. Let's talk about that again a bit more on the podcast later. Let's dive into our predictions for the divisional round. So it all started off with the Bengals at Titans. The handicap was Bengals plus 3.5. They went on to win, so they definitely beat that handicap. Under over of 47.5. Hit the under. So Nate, you got a point for the Bengals, as did I. Ross, you went for the Titans. Ross and I went for the under, so we got a point there. Nate and I both went for Derrick Henry, who didn't have a great game, but because we both went for him, we both get 2 points. And Ross, you picked the winner there with Jamar Chase. He had a fantastic day.
Yeah, I don't think he had a fantastic day. I think the offense came at a premium in this game. Both defenses stepped up. There was lots of turnovers, at least from the Titans, and Titans defense was pretty solid as we all thought. But the surprise was that they just couldn't get Derrick Henry going all game long, despite the touchdown. I think he only averaged 2 yards a carry.
So dreadful, wasn't it? Not like it's understandable because he's just come off of a lengthy sidelining, but you just Derrick Henry's the kind of player that you're like, oh well, he just had a break for 3 months, 2 months. He's going to come in and he's going to steamroll everyone, and it's just not the case. He looks bang average, didn't he? He looked like a very, very average football player.
Some of the players that have been playing in his stead looked better. In this game. And I think that's probably telling you he wasn't right to come back. But I don't think the loss is on Derrick Henry. I think the loss is probably more on Ryan Tannehill. But we can talk about that later.
Yes.
So let's talk about Sunday 1:15 a.m. Niners at Packers in the snow. The line was Niners plus 5.5, under over 47.5. Oh, I didn't do very well on this one. And neither did you, Nate. We both backed the Packers. Ross, you picking the Niners. Again, Nate and I copied each other's homework. Both went for the over. It was the under. Ross, you got the under as well. Only place where you faltered, Ross, was you went for Debo, whereas we both went for Devon. You went for Debo with Nate. I went for Devontae Adams. That's 2 points for Nate, 3 points for me, and 4 points for you, Ross. So you've been very consistent over those first 2 games. Were you surprised by how the game unfolded?
As soon as I saw the weather and it was freezing cold, and then it started snowing in the second half, it looked like the under was always in play. I don't know. Those January games at Green Bay, again, points are pretty difficult to come by in those kind of conditions. So maybe I got a little bit lucky with.
You got to respect the Niners going forward, surely, Nate.
Maybe. That's a preview. That's a preview. The answer's no.
Let's talk about Sunday then. Rams at Buccaneers. This is when the games really started getting interesting. Those other 2 games, they were quite tense and cagey, and they were very super close. All the games
expect playoff football to be almost like you don't. I know I said I wanted lots of high scoring offensive games, but I kind of expect those tense kind of turnover, maybe sometimes turnover happy games where people are trying to force it too much. It's a very tense situation. I don't know if I can say tense anymore, but I'm going to drop it in once more. Tense.
Yeah, good. Well, I mean, there was a lot of turnovers in that Bengals Titans one. But yeah, the games really sort of came alive. The offenses started clicking on Sunday, and it all started in Tampa with the Rams traveling to the Buccaneers. The handicap line was the Rams +3. The under-over was 48.5. Nate and I made a bit of a comeback in this one. Full houses all round. So we both picked the Rams, the over, and Cooper Kupp. So you get all those and a bonus point. Whereas Ross, you were still very consistent, mate. You picked the Bucs, which was, it was bloody close. So it's hard to call. Gronk got you a couple of points, and you got one for the over. So you still got 3, but yeah, hard to measure up if the other two guys have both got perfect scores. Well, not perfect scores. I don't like perfect scores. Full house.
I'd say that Gronk with 2 points got too many points. Just like Derrick Henry, where we both got 2 points for Henry, got too many points because both of them scored like 11 points fantasy.
Yeah,
they did not have like stellar games. Okay games, but not stellar games. So 2 points is it has highlighted a flaw in the system that Alan reported last week and I ignored.
Yeah, it's true, but we are where we are. We've got 3 games left of football this season, so let's not start quibbling over it. And we're all playing by the same rules at least. And then the craziest game, someone's saying ever. I'm not sure I can quite get down with ever, but it's got to be up there.
Probably the craziest fourth quarter, right?
Maybe. Bills at Chiefs. Bills +2.5 was the line. Under over 54.5. We all fancied the Bills. I mean, if it was regulation, we're doing this on. They won on the handicap, but we're not. I went for the under, which was incorrect, definitely. You guys went for the over. Ross and I both went for Josh Allen, who was magnificent. 3 points apiece. And here's another classic, Jarrett McKinnon, 2 points, which is, again, too many points, to be honest, for you, Nate.
Too many points, yeah.
But what a game.
Mahomes used him quite a lot in the last few weeks and went to him quite a lot in the wildcard round, and he had a high-scoring game. So I was like, maybe it's just going to continue. The Bills don't have a great rushing defense, so maybe that's where the key to victory lies. But it absolutely wasn't. Tyreek Hill had a good day after multiple very average games in a row.
Yes.
So fuck me.
I can't believe you went for Jarrett McKinnon over
in your defense.
That's the thing that just tickles me in retrospect.
In your defense, again, the rushing attack was pretty good, but it was Edwards-Helaire who came back and looked really, really good. I didn't think he would look so good after that shoulder injury. So, yeah, I think he had 2 runs over 15 yards and a couple of catches. So if McKinnon had all those stats and had been in the game more,
would have been worthy of the 2 points because he wouldn't have beaten Josh Allen.
Yes. Well, there's that side of things. But no, yeah, what an absolutely mental game. At one point, I was watching the game, stayed up for it. I think it was 26-21 Chiefs. And we're like, we're close to the over, but there's time's running out, and the Bills are on this drive, and it's the 2-minute warning.
Boom.
And then, didn't have to worry about it.
I dropped a stat earlier before we started recording saying that Patrick Mahomes threw for more yards in the fourth quarter, which is 177, than Carson Wentz threw in 5 games. But actually, he threw for more yards after the 2-minute warning, which was 177. That's the actual stat. I'm glad Ross mentioned the 2-minute warning there. It refreshed my memory of the actual stat. Yeah, more yards, 177 yards after the 2-minute warning, which was more than 5 Carson Wentz games this season.
That is
hideous.
That is incredible. But you can tell we're recording this early morning because we were recording when you did that stat. But
were we?
Yeah.
Oh.
I am adamant that we were. But it's good that it's been corrected, and it's even more ridiculous than it was before. So at least it went somewhere. So anyway, on the week we all scored pretty well. Nate, you got 14. I got 16, and Ross, you got 15. Oh, that's better than I thought I did. So that takes the scores up to Nate, you're on 145, 10 back from Ross, who's on 155, who's 3 back from me on 158. So as I say, 3 games to go, all to play for.
Game over though for me.
Well, I haven't seen the fantasy players for the week. I'm pleased to say we've all gone for different players. I can see that already. So this opens up the potential for there to be a little bit more swing, which I'm definitely
I need 2 perfect games. Because if I get 2 perfect games, that means you particularly have shut the bed.
Yes. Well, let's get into it. So no Saturday games. Just when I was getting into Saturday night football, it starts on Sunday, 8 p.m. 49ers at Rams at SoFi. The line is Niners plus 3.5 with an under over 46.5. This is a tough one to call, I think. I'm denied over this one. So you guys are taking the Rams minus the points. I'm going to take the Niners because I feel like I can now, I feel vindicated by them beating my Cowboys. Now they beat the Packers. I'm going to take the under with Ross. Nate, you're going for the over. And then fancy player, Nate, you're going for Stafford. I'm going to go for OBJ, who's been resurgent under this Rams offense. And then Ross, the ever-reliable Cooper Kupp. So he's probably got at least 2 points. Almost pretty much guaranteed there, I'd say. So where do we start? Well, so I'll talk about the Niners. Since I'm the only person that's gone for the Niners, I just think that they're going to try and slow the game down. They're going to try and run on the Rams as much as they can. Their defense has been incredibly stout against 2 of the best offenses in the league. One weather affected, admittedly, one in a dome. So I think the defense is probably going to win them this game like it did in Green Bay. You guys disagree, which is completely cool. Nate, you're expecting the over and the Rams. Tell us a bit more about why you fancy that.
I think the key to I think it's going to be really close. It might come out at 47 points.
If it's 47.5, we'll give you 5 bonus points.
Yeah, I think it's going to come out at 47 points, around that mark, 48 maybe. It's going to be really, really, really tight. Remember, we only need 20 points and 27 points from one team. Not enormous scores, really. It's pretty average for this season to hit the over here. I think the key to the victory for the Rams is keeping the ball in the air. I like the odds of OBJ and Kupp hurting the Niners defense, and I think the Rams rushing defense was ranked 5th this year. And other than Deebo Samuel, that's all the 49ers have. So to hit him with. So I expect Deebo Samuel to have a good game. I think they're going to stifle him completely, but I think the Rams are going to shut down that rushing defense, and the Niners might struggle to put significant points on the board. So obviously I've gone for the over, which completely is at conflict with everything I've just said.
I think that's an epic amount of shade on this Niners team. But
I think they're going to have a good. I think they have a good go. I just think the Rams will actually do the job this time.
Well, the Rams have been very inconsistent throughout the season. Ross, do you think those inconsistencies are past them, and that's why you've gone for the Rams here, or do you think the 49ers are just not quite up to scratch in this one?
I just think the Rams defense has gone to another level, which I didn't see them going to. I know they gave up 27 points to the Bucs.
With which offense?
Yeah, 2
quarters. Like no offense. Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, and Mike Evans, and that's it.
So you need. Yeah,
but really, there's just that one play by the Rams defense where Jalen Ramsey gave up the long touchdown to Mike Evans. That is the one play you can really put on the defense. The rest of the time, the offense put them in bad situations with turnovers, which is something you have to worry about against the Niners because they're pretty opportunistic. So they can't have the fumbles that they had from Kupp and Akers in this game, because I think it's going to be a slugfest where points are at a premium for the first 3 quarters, and then maybe defense is tired in the 4th quarter. But I'm happy taking the under. I think it's going to be a tense game, to use Nate's word. But I just see the Rams coming out on top here by more than a field goal.
Cool. Yeah, I think the Niners are averaging 5 quarterback sacks a game, which is healthy. And I think Stafford is a great quarterback, but I'm not sure whether the offensive line is a little bit rejiggled and they're going to get Wentworth back this week. I just think that the defense is going to win it for the Niners. But I think it's an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to stay up as late as 11:30.
Yeah,
AFC side.
I'm really pissed off that it's NFC first, because I think I think it might be a boring game.
Oh, I'm more excited about the NFC than the AFC. Let's talk about the AFC anyway. Bengals at Chiefs. The line is Bengals +7. Now that's a disrespect. Kicking off at Sunday, 11:30 p.m. with the under/over of 54.5. Nate, you're the only person taking the minus on the Chiefs. Ross and I both fancying the Bengals. Ross and Nate, you guys fancying the under. I'm fancying the over. It's all mixed up there, which is pretty tasty. And then for the fancy player of the week, Nate, you've gone for Patrick Mahomes. Good pick. Ross, Jamar Chase. Good pick. And I thought, well, I've got to go something different. So I'm going to go with Joey Burrow. Hopefully he airs it out and gets the win in this one. So let's go to you, Nate, because you picked the Chiefs minus the points. Tell us a little bit about why you think the Chiefs are going to win so handsomely that they can cover the spread.
I think the Chiefs-Bills game was the de facto an AFC Championship game. I think the Bengals-Titans game showed that both of those teams have some significant problems that they need to fix before they should be really considered proper contenders. And I think the Chiefs will expose that, particularly on offense. I think the Bengals will have a better day on the offensive line. I don't think the Chiefs aren't as good as the Titans in the pass rush, so I don't think you're going to see them. I don't think you're going to see them hit Joey B 9 times. That's unlikely, but I think you might see mid-30s in the points from the Chiefs and mid-20s, maybe high 20s from the Bengals. I think it would only be 1 or 2 scores, so I think you expect to see the point differential be between 7 and maybe 13, 14 points.
And Ross, you're with me. You fancying the Bengals to at least cover the spread. Are you expecting them to win, or are you just expecting them to cover?
I expect them to cover, but I think it could be a bit similar. I think it's going to be quite tight in the first half, as these kind of title games often are, and then things will loosen up in the second half, but be not quite enough to cover that over because it's a big over. I don't know. I went with Chase and the Bengals offense. I just think they have some swagger about them this offseason. They are the team that almost everyone in the media is talking about at this point. I think there's a big Cincinnati Bengals narrative in the media this postseason. So they're going to come in with a lot of swagger and give the Chiefs a run for their money. But and that 7 points is just a big line for this game, so I think you have to take the Bengals.
I agree. I think it's a massive line. But and the Bengals won this.
There is a world where the
last
Chiefs
time they played.
Exactly, that's the other thing. The Chiefs. I think there is a world where the Chiefs blow the Bengals out here, and that is if the pass rush gets to Joe Burrow. Because everything's just plays a little bit faster in title games like this, and the Chiefs have been there before. So there is a world where that happens. I just trust Joe Burrow to keep.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head over heart. Head and heart sort of game, this one for me, because my head says the Chiefs are going to win this, but I don't know. There's something a bit romantic about the Bengals and how they're doing this.
I'd rather see the Bengals win it.
Yeah, I mean, I think most neutrals would, just because they've been starved of any success.
I know, mainly because
for
me, it's mainly because of Jackson Mahomes.
There is that. That is quite a strong pull as well.
Get that,
or push. If
you need to get that TikTok twat in the bin.
I wish there was a different word for bin. Trash. TikTok twat in the trash.
Sure, go with the alliteration.
You know what? If this was +3, I think I'd still be picking the Bengals. So I'm quite comfortable with this line.
Interestingly, the last time the Bengals made the Super Bowl, they played the 49ers. Actually, the last 2 times they played in the Super Bowl, they lost to the 49ers.
And the last time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, they played the 49ers. I think.
So it'll be the Rams, and the Rams will win.
Well, home field advantage. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that's the game. Or games, I guess. Dream Super Bowl, guys, just while we're looking at it.
Bengals, Rams.
Rams.
Bengals, Rams. I'm going to go Bengals, 49ers. I think they can go all the way.
I don't like the 49ers.
We know.
I've happily, well, maybe not happily, but I've admitted that they are a better football team than I gave them credit for down the stretch in the regular season. But I don't like Jimmy G. I'm starting to not like Kyle Shanahan. And I sort of nothing the Rams. I don't like them. I don't dislike them. I like Stafford. So there we go.
There you go. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us, making your picks. Hopefully another exciting weekend of football. And thank you, everyone, for watching. As always, if you like the video, drop us a like, drop us a comment, subscribe. And if you want to keep up to date with our other shows, we have a podcast, which is available wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, so on and so forth. If you want to follow us on a day-to-day basis, then we have a Twitter, which is available at Tough Show Official. And also, you can come join us on our Discord community. So it's free. You can just come and talk good football with other people around the world.
Bye.